More fun. Storm of Iron and the Valhalla. All set. So, nope.
Hey, hold on you.
Reda's stuff. Also, I think my mic okay. There we go. Is the mic working now? Yeah, okay. There we go. Maybe not. Something's weird there. Technology. Don't you love it?
Hello there.
All right. Reda,
Have you got a contract for me?
There are contracts for killing things, contracts for... Well,
let's get a contract to kill something.
monsters, they say. I bet some opal on your success, so don't fail or I'll be bankrupt. No pressure.
What do you have
Stuff,
today?
because this is what I'm waiting for. And yep, Berserker Helm. Okay, so I did get the Berserker Helm. That is what I really wanted.
I have to go. See you soon.
See you later.
So I've been waiting for this thing to pop up on the Reda's inventory. Helm, Berserker Helm. There we go. There we go. Classic Viking. So what do we got? Health, range damage. Put those runes. And then one more. Oh, another one of those. Okay. We are good to go. Also, my mic looks like it's doing funny things, so tell me if that's not 100% spot on at the moment. Alright, Predator's attack is over there. Grave Robber is right there. And where's the other one? I hate having to find this stuff. Oh, there it is. Alright. So let's go on a killing spree, shall we? Also, we can't hide the Berserker hood. We absolutely cannot hide the Berserker hood. So, show gear. There we go. Berserker. Now it looks like I'm gonna go roll into an Amon Amarth music video somewhere. Alright. Off to murder. And murder we shall go. Yeah, it's kind of all over the place at the moment. I don't know what's going on there. Alright. Let's fiddle with this thing. Yeah, it figures it was working absolutely fine the other day, and now it's all kind of weird. So I'm not quite sure what ended up happening with it. Alright. Well, it's just like you did. You ended up moving all your stuff from one location to another, and then everything's all wonky.
Will have to do for now.
Did you end up getting all the notifications sorted? Alright, so that's as far as we can go from there. Okay, I'm totally all about this hood. This hood makes it. This hood wins. I don't care if I do anything else during the game. You can have Thor's hammer, you can have Excalibur. I don't care. I have a giant bear on my head. Alright, so the richest merchant. So we don't want explosive corpse. We don't... Yeah, definitely don't want that. More assassination damage. More ability damage. Yeah, for real, man. Like, I think we need to go up to the mountains because this bear head... Oh, what happened? It was exactly what I thought. It was something silly, something ridiculous, right? Aha. Well, it's like all the other stuff. It all has to be enabled, disabled, turned off, turned on. Like anything, you know, I can sit here and I can probably talk for about like 15 minutes before realizing that I forgot to turn the microphone on. Because that happens too. Yeah, for real. This hood is where it's at. Well, technically it's a helmet. Well, in the game it's a helmet. But whatever, I don't care. This thing's nuts. This is the last piece of, like, head armor I'm going to equip on this character. At all. And that's a donkey. What are these dudes doing? I don't know who they are, but I'm gonna mess up their day. Really, guys? Arrows at me. Oh, nice, Lothar. Which raid are you gonna do? Was that same one from the other day? Man, all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, that was a pretty wild raid that you ended up doing. Alright. Where'd my horse go? And we ride. There's some cows. Out of everything I've killed in this game, I don't wanna kill cows. I don't know. There's something about killing cows. I mean, deer, elk. So what you're saying is you've been pretty busy today, Lothar. That's pretty awesome. Oh yeah, here we go. Big dudes. Is this a new flavor of mead? What do you got for me? You ain't got nothing. Oh. And the guy's trying to run away. Gotcha. Done and done. Now I almost kind of want to get into a cutscene where I can actually see the hood. Silver, titanium, nickel, 20 opal. Awesome. Okay. We're in business. Actually, I don't even know where I am. Lincolnshire. I have not been here before. So we've got... Alright, that's right on the outside of the outskirts of the city there, so let's head there. You ever make some that packs like a real punch, or do you kind of keep it a little bit on the mild side? Why am I running? I have a horse. Well, that's got to be pretty cool. I mean, I kind of got to take somebody's word for it, because I've never actually drank, believe it or not. Alright. So, I had complete intentions of actually going and doing plot story stuff, but yeah,
Shouldn't you seen it? A hood should work.
that goes sideways. Every single time that goes sideways. Ah, okay. It's interesting the sheer level of chemistry that's behind this. Oh, I gotta go over there. Okay. That's pretty cool. Alright. Keep going up. Keep going up. And here we go. If I can figure out where my button is. So is that a low count, or are you usually fully stocked further than that? Wow. So, yeah. You had a lot going on there. Lincoln.
Shovelin Pena, Shovelin. It's pity there.
Well, the thing about it is, too, if you appreciate and you truly enjoy the creative process that you engage in, and you enjoy giving something to someone else, then by all means, man, that's awesome. That is a locked door with plenty of treasure behind it. And you still have a whole hell of a lot. Yeah, man, I truly, yeah. When you do something that just, you know, it involves happiness with others, go for it. Exactly. Exactly. Alright, now I have to find my way underground here. Alright, there's something way underground. Okay. So that's going to be in here. There's a key over there. Let's put this little puzzle together. But there's another key somewhere. There's a key over there. Lincoln Cemetery door key. Okay, this is the key I want. My ankles. And down we go. You know what would be cool? If I found like an entire like catacombs kind of area. But that's in Paris. An opal? Yeah, nice, an opal. And that's a whole bunch of material that we need. It's a viper. Alright, so that's it. There's gotta be more to it. Huh. Dragon scrolls are huge, though. Aren't they like almost 6 feet tall? Alright, so that didn't get us anywhere. Which is unfortunate. And there's a lot of stuff below me. I've still got 62 bottles of mead on the wall from William Sterling there. It just kind of keeps playing in my head. take in this surrounding area here and see. So there's a stairway underground. It's 166 meters away. I'm thinking that might... Oh, really? That's awesome. So he knows what's up. Alright, and then there's more stuff this way. Ah, I gotcha. Yeah. So where are we getting in? Can I shoot the... Alright, let's not give ourselves away just yet. That guy. This guy. Personally or amongst other people? Alright, so now I gotta figure out how to get in here. And this would make sense. Alright, now to find the key. So it's over here somewhere. Or is it outside? Explosive arrow. Bingo. So that's the key. It's going to open this up. Man, that sounds like a hell of a party. Alright, ability upgrade, piercing shot. I forget what that one is. So I don't have this one equipped. Shoot an arrow with enough force to pierce through nearly any obstacle. Upgrade, multiple damage for each enemy the arrow passes through. Okay. So we basically just had a damage upgrade. Here. Oh, that's where the explosive oil is hidden. Okay, so I think that is everything? Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be everything. Sounds good. I will be around. For a little while at least. We'll see where it goes. So now let's go find... whatever this is supposed to be. So we go down through there, I think. Kind of hide a little bit. Well, that's a big dude.
Hey now! You die now! Oh, how the blood will just die!
And then we choke him out. And down he goes. Fire can both be friend and foe in this game. Oh, okay. So this is where we go underground. Huh, okay. Make sure we're not missing anything. Like whatever might be over around here. Of course. Pick up the oil jar. Throw the oil jar. Perfect. That was a perfect shot. Usually I just wind up incinerating myself. Rune armor. Oh wow, quite a bit of stuff. And a shell. Alright. Where are we going? We're going back down the pit. So let me double check something here. Gotta make sure everything is coming through right and proper. Yep, 1080. Okay. Alright, and let's see what's down here. Okay. Does he really have his back to me? Yes, because he is in fact urinating. He's urinating while supposed to be on guard duty, and that will be his unfortunate demise. Because I have no qualms about taking a man down while he's peeing. Alright. This way it looks like. Rations are full. Okay. Alright, so that basically just led to the same place. Alright. Is there anything... I guess it's not deep enough to dive in? Or is it? I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. And... they always hide stuff under the water. Which I hate swimming in this game because it makes me want to hold my breath. Alright. Okay.
They will attack on sight here.
Old Lincoln sewers. Alright. Okay, so the best way to approach a situation like this is to attempt to stealthily dispatch as many guards as possible. Let's see if we can get both of them. Ah, damn. I didn't think that was actually going to get him. And I didn't think that guy was going to be dumb enough to run over. Are you kidding me? Alright, now I'm surprised that... Come on, come investigate. A little closer. A little closer. Alright, excellent. Now let's go find some treasure. Treasure over there. Treasure over here. Good. And if I was actually really antidote rune, armor rune. Huh. But no, if I was actually really intelligent, I would have actually, oh, I don't know, made sure I had a complete stock of arrows and everything else. But no, I'm not the intelligent type. Nickel. Upgrades. So the interesting thing is, I am streaming with my laptop, and I've only got an i5. It's got, I put 16 gig of RAM into this thing. And I mean, it's not a super old laptop or anything. It's only a couple of years old. But all of the processing power is done by my PlayStation. So I play the game on the PlayStation, run the game through a capture card, and then I just stream through Streamlabs OBS on my laptop. And right now, I am only using probably anywhere from 10 to 12% of my CPU power, which is fantastic. It kind of comes down to sort of what you want to play, what you want to stream. If you want to get really crazy into it, you get the gaming rig, and then you get the streaming rig. But then it kind of comes down to, you know, personal preference as to what you want to really get into. Alright, what do we got? A longbow. A longbow. Why did I get a longbow? Oh, it's a predator bow. Throw a smoke bomb after a close range shot. Huh. Realistically, I should have a... I don't have... Oh, it's a light bow. But no, that's... I totally get what you're getting at. Ooh, those are some pretty solid. Let's change things up. Oh, you know what? Because we goofed up putting the... Nope. We goofed up putting the... I always do this when I put... So we get a shell rune, rune of life. There, and then we need to change it. Yeah, Were you running a desktop or a laptop? Evasion, weight. Get that armor one, I think. Shell rune. Cool. So not so much gaming per se, but mostly just like video editing or alright, so let us upgrade. Actually, wait a minute. We can upgrade the quiver. And then we will need ore and linen. What's this need? Not enough materials. Okay, we're definitely running low on materials. Alright, so I don't know. So you don't need anything that's like super top of the line cutting edge. You want a lot of RAM if you're going to do any kind of video editing. A decent CPU is going to help you out, but you don't need the top of the line kind of thing. If you're not gaming, then I mean, you can play that on a mobile platform and you're good. So Among Us isn't exactly a very, you know, resource-heavy game. But you want to take into consideration any of the baselines that your software is going to require of you and kind of base it off of that. I mean, streaming is not super intensive on the computer, but if you have a good CPU, if you've got a decent amount of RAM, and also you got to worry about your connection speed and everything else as well. And then a halfway decent graphics card, because the graphics card will take a lot of the weight off of the other stuff. It kind of shares the load with everything. Is anything else down here? I really wish they had better maps to figure out where the hell I'm going. Among Us is such a hilariously fun game. It really is. It's just, it is an absolute blast. Alright, so this brings me back right here. Okay. Alright, so this is where I entered from. Is there a way out? Not that way. This way? So no. Okay, so I've technically explored everything in here. Nope, because this is the way out. Yeah, you know, if you're not playing like flight simulators or, you know, Cyberpunk 2077, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, all kinds of stuff like this, you don't need like the most cutting edge of anything. And the great thing is too, a lot of laptops are, you know, gonna offer you everything in a pretty decent package. But you want to have a good camera. But you're probably going to want to use a USB camera because you're going to want something that you can put an aim and you know, focus with and stuff like that. Unless you use an actual DSLR camera and set it up on a stand with lighting and everything else. So that's always an option as well. And then that way you can actually change camera lenses if you want to. That's how crazy you can get with that. I don't even know where the hell I'm going. How am I out of the city limits? Wow, okay. So that was that. Let's go back this way. Because I don't know if there's anything on this side. Not sure. Huh. Is there anything behind here? Guess not. This is kind of strange. Anything below the waterline? No. Ah, there you are. You missed me doing some straight up tasty murder. And I think I have my microphone issue all sorted too. For whatever reason, it was just not cooperating there initially. Oh, okay. That door is locked. So, because I'm not, like, really fancy or anything, I had the initial subscription to, what is it, like Prime. So you pay for the Prime subscription, and you can get all of those overlays and stuff. And it's got all the cool graphics and packages and notifications and everything else. I mean, you've already got all the stickers and pop-ups and sound stuff going. But I also went to, because I don't own any music, I went over to YouTube's audio library. And what you can do is you can get all of that free stuff. So they have pages and pages and pages and pages of different kind of music. So I just kind of went through, found something that fit my theme, and away I went. And like this whole thing, it's got, you know, the starting screen, the live screen, a pause, an ending screen. And I mean, I can do stuff like this guy here. Yeah, I mean, it works out pretty good. And I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm like really happy with it. What's it called? I basically went into the overlay store, or the library, and I just punched in Viking because I knew that's exactly the kind of theme or idea that I was looking for. And if you played a lot of God of War, the new one there, which I know you play a bunch of. It's cool because it fits the vibe, it fits the theme. And there was another one I was going to grab because it reminds me more of, in Norse mythology, of the 9 realms, you've got Jotunheim, which is the land of the frost giants, and there's like a frost kind of themed one, which it's pretty neat looking. Then there's another one that's looks kind of more like fire, so it's like Helheim or Niflheim or something like that. So it's pretty rad. It's pretty rad. But then again, I look like a 6-foot tall Viking myself, anyways. But that's, you know, like I said, it fits a theme. So let's head back out here because I don't know where I'm going, and I'm somehow on the outskirts of the city, and I'm probably better off just climbing back into it again. You know, William Sterling, people would watch that. People would absolutely watch that. I mean, people love cats. People love cat videos, and they are all about that stuff. You can put a hamster in a cage with a wheel in it, and then, you know, people are going to tune in to watch. But I had the biggest issue finding audio. So I had all the cool starting screen, I had the cool pause screen, ending screen, everything like that. And it's all pre-made stuff that if you subscribe to, you know, Streamlabs OBS, you get access to all this free stuff. Like, you've got the free stuff, and then you've got... Oh, yeah. The Elgato stuff is where it's at. I mean, that's some actually really, really good level stuff. Because I'm not using a camera or anything, I don't really have to worry too much about proper lighting. But anytime I'm on a Zoom meeting or something like that, I have a light that I set up, and, you know, I finally got a better USB camera, because I'm running my gameplay. Just you're using the PlayStation 5. I've got my PlayStation 4, and I'm using the Elgato capture card. So the one that lets me play my game in 4K, but it captures at 1080p. So it's super awesome. The whole thing's super awesome. But I'm eventually going to get a PlayStation 5. And honestly, it's after watching the gameplay from your channel. So it's just, that's like, I pretty much have to do that.
Need to cloak myself here.
Oops. But yeah, if I want to set up the USB camera, I can do that. And it's funny too, because if I just wanted to stream from the PlayStation, the PlayStation 4 Pro has access to Twitch, and it uses the, you know, just streams direct to Twitch, but you don't get the cool overlays. But you hook your mic up to the controller, mic and headset up to the controller, you hook up your PlayStation camera, and just, it goes. It works perfect. Yeah, Elgato is awesome. And then all those Stream Deck, you have a Stream Deck too, which I imagine makes things a whole hell of a lot easier when you're trying to kind of, you know, hit buttons on the fly. Like, I've got a couple of hotkeys mapped out and stuff, but it's basically just mic on, mic off, maybe a transition screen, that's it. So yeah, because you've got all that studio experience, you've got all that all that cool gear and setup and everything, and I'm just some I'm just some clown ass in my bedroom playing video games, talking to people.
Guards here are vigilant.
But like I said, I super appreciate your follow, and I definitely appreciate you jumping in the chat. And I mean, if there's any assistance that I can offer you, which primarily I just kind of figure everything all out by myself anyways, more than glad to kind of jump in and help out, so. Oh, so that guy's inside. So I guess the question is, how do I get inside? Which one's World of Warships? I know Lotor was playing World of Warcraft, and he's super into that. And stab.
Hold you.
Ah, why didn't it... Alright, that bummed me out.
Mine!
I mean, for me, it's super basic, it's super simple, and it's super fun. Because I like playing video games, I like this game, I like things like Norse mythology, I like, you know, just, you know, engaging and talking with people, and just kind of hanging out and having a good time. And the key is, do not kill the innocent passerbys. There's so many cool, like, well, there's so many cool, like, simulator-style games, but I don't think there's nearly enough naval combat simulators. And I will go back to it every single time. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, cruising around with a pirate ship, is still one of the coolest damn things ever. Ooh, what do we got? Galaclack? Yeah, like I can even say that. Okay, that's pretty awesome. I was thinking about getting a stream deck, and I mean, maybe eventually I'll get a stream deck. Like, eventually I will get my camera set up and get that running, just, you know. And you're toast. But yeah, I mean, I'll get my camera set up and everything too. And you run a green screen on your end of things, right? When you're gaming and stuff, because you could do a lot of different stuff with, like, backgrounds, and I mean, I know, like, in Zoom calls and stuff like that, I love changing the background on everything. But I picked up, I don't even have to run a green screen. I use this software, it's called XSplit. So XSplit. And it removes the background, but you can also play YouTube videos, you can play media files, you can put any picture you want right behind you, and if you remove the background, it works for, like, gaming and stuff like you do, so you don't actually need a green screen. So if you're, like, going somewhere and you're traveling, you want to set up, you want to run a Twitch stream, and you don't have, you know, you didn't feel like dragging along a green screen with you, XSplit, remove background, throw it right in there, or hell, put one of your goddamn music videos right in the background, let that play right behind you, and it's awesome that way. And I super appreciate that too, because that's pretty damn awesome. And not for nothing, but I never really kind of considered that I'd be, sitting here having a conversation with you like this, because that's pretty cool. I am a fan, and I did see you when you were with... Ah, crap. I messed up the timing on that one. In Worcester, Massachusetts, at the Palladium, and you were with Mushroomhead. So that was... And, yeah, you were the only one to go charging out into the audience and stuff like that, so that was pretty cool. Alright, that guy's dead. It's so hard to get the timing on the assassinations on some of the elite guys, because the timing is always different. You never know when it's going to start counting down, and then you never know how big the target is you have to go for. Yeah, see, that's the type of stuff, William Sterling, that is pretty damn amazing. And I'm all about that. Okay, that's pretty wild, all things considered. That's the kind of neat stuff you got to share with people. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, because I don't like the look of this guy here, I'm going to assassinate him.
I'll kill you.
And I totally missed the other guy. Come on, hit me. Do your worst. And then I'll do that. It wasn't Rock and Shock, but Rock and Shock was always like a really... That was at the Centrum. And I never had a chance to actually make it to Rock and Shock. But I had talked to so many people who had been to Rock and Shock. Like Derek Mears, who... he was most recently Swamp Thing. And he's been in so much stuff. He's a cool dude. That guy's a super nice guy. Where was I going? I was going to the shop because I wanted to sell the things that I had. Palladium is probably one of the cooler places around here, anyways, to see a show, because you've got like you've got Worcester and then you've got Boston.
You should always be fully stocked.
What might be in your shop, sir? Great Headhunter rune, Venom rune, Shield rune. Oh, increase attack after heavy finisher, or Great Safeguard.
It's just your style.
Is it just my style? As Guardian Lamp Scheme. I love changing the settlement. Longship. Oh, you can change it to the holiday stuff. As Guardian Scheme. Yeah, there are some amazing places to go in this game.
You wouldn't regret getting this.
Moon and Call. Oh man, I love all these tattoos in this game. Like, I would go through every single one of these tattoos and just completely check them out. Exotic hair. And it's just unfortunate you don't get to actually see this stuff on you. Fancy hair.
This would look very fetching.
Fetching, he says.
Unbelievable. You managed to look even better than before.
Fantastic Fishes and Where to Find Them Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. I don't have any of this stuff, so I'm just going to buy it just because I'm going to buy it. And I have an abundance of coin. Also, I should probably buy this guy out of iron ore because I don't have nearly enough. And it's only, what, 200? Yeah, we'll do that.
These will come in very handy.
Wait, you can buy a PlayStation as a business expense? How on earth can you pull that off? Because this is rather puzzling to me.
I must be on my way now. Goodbye.
I get like nothing as a business expense. If anything, it costs me money to work half the time. Not really, but it sounds funny. Honestly, I kind of personally count myself lucky that I am still gainfully employed, even though I was out of work originally for about 6 or 7 weeks, end of March, all of April, and then first week of May. All right, where am I going? Jomsviking. Oh, you know what? I never did that other one that was down here. Where is it? That one. Grave Robber. Also, I'm wondering if I should take a crack at one of the daughters, because that's super creepy. But then again, if I go down there, I can kind of just wander around. So I'm in Lincoln. There's also a drinking contest over there. And I think the drinking contests in this game are absolutely hysterical. That's pretty awesome. That is absolutely awesome. I think you definitely need to need to find yourself a PlayStation 5 for a business expense. But that is only my personal opinion. You know what? No, I'm gonna head this way. I'm gonna head towards the coast, or the edge of the city here, and because this guy offends me. Good night. Perfect. So fast travel is open. And let's see what this Jomsviking looks like. Which I can actually... Yeah, you know what? Because I've got cool new stuff, I can outfit my Jomsviking with Berserker gear.
I'll gladly reave the Swan Road by your side, Eivor.
Froken Blood Eye. Spanky Boo's Jomsviking. Yeah, why not? It's only money, right? It's always only ever money. And in this instance, it's fake money. Unless it's fake money that you bought with real money. Which... yeah, microtransactions and all of that fun stuff. Alright, so... oops. We are going... what's the easiest way? You know what? We'll go... yeah, we'll go Theofort. We'll travel west. We'll get that other... Man, how cool does this guy look? Seriously, how awesome with this bear head on my, well, excuse me, bear Berserker helmet upon my melon with the giant bear skin thrown over the shoulders, and then you've got the long beard, mustache braided together. See, that's some cool stuff. That is some exceptionally cool stuff. Now I really want to get the rest of this armor. Although I think I can buy it. Yeah. Which, I mean, I'm not gonna buy armor in. This isn't Grand Theft Auto, and I'm not gonna get a shark card. So. All right. So we are gonna go west to there. Or simply fall off the pier and into the water. But that's neither here nor there. All right. You know, I'm almost half tempted to take a crack at that sister. Also, one of these days I should set up my channel points for, like, doing more than just highlighting messages and whatnot. Alright, are you bandits? Who are you? Yeah, bandits. What is here? There is a mask. Where's the mask? The mask is below me. So how do we get underneath there? I see. Explosive arrow. Boom. Oh, we can go under here too. Regular arrow to explode the oil. Come on, man. Get rid of the hood and put your bear head back on. What the hell? Where's this thing? Oh. Ah, there we go. Okay. Got it. Roman artifact. And then the weird noise that accompanies it. And ever onward, my trusty steed. Whoa, that was... not gonna let a bear maul me. I know that much. Okay, I'm gonna try not to let a bear maul me. Ouch. Alright, I'm surprised at just how many of them there are here. Alright, perfect. Brown bear fur, which I can't remember how many I actually need, but I need a bunch, so... Ah, more bears. Oh, what the hell? Okay, so bears are very powerful creatures in this, and they can murder the hell out of you. Especially when there's a couple of them. What's wrong? You don't recognize me as one of your own, the giant bear carcasses I'm wearing? Oh, I know. I know. The only solace I can take from this game is that it is in fact a game. And I'm doing nothing to cull their numbers because this is like 600 or 700 AD. So it's not like they've been poached into extinction.
I must be careful.
So, small little platitudes, I know, but what can you do? Hey guys.
I'm sorry, my idiot!
Oh, you think you can kick? How about that for a kick? This is Sparta! There we go. No, put him down. Put him down.
Just a regular fish.
Alright, so apparently I picked up a weapon and threw it at a fish. And actually proceeded to kill the fish. Wasn't expecting that.
Tell the gods you meet that Eivor sends you.
Alright. Animals do some crazy things, man. And waving back at tourists is certainly one of them. To lull them into a false sense of security. And then they pounce upon really, really dumb people. Maybe. Possibly. So I'm going to run away right now. Actually, I'm going to make probably a very bad decision. And I'm going to attempt to take on one of the daughters. That's awesome. That was actually really funny. This is exactly the timing. Ginger, thank you very much. Because there's going to be something is probably going to happen here. It may not be good. Because whatever that is probably going to... Yeah, you get that right. There is going to be a lot of carnage, death, and destruction, most likely visited upon me. So...
This poor man suffered a great deal before dying.
All right.
Come you hither to pay your respects to the great and brave King Lerion.
I do not know such a man.
He was betrayed and murdered by those who denied
Cordelia.
his friendship, just as you deny him now.
Hold there! I'm not your enemy.
No, Eivor, everyone is your enemy in this game. Everyone. Oh, crap.
You will join my pile of bones.
Ooh, that hurts. Ouch. Ah. Yeah, so we died. So there was actually, in fact, carnage and death. Maybe a little bit of destruction. Yeah, there was... Yeah. Wow. So that happened, and that is one tough cookie. Yeah, that was certainly one tough cookie. Also, you were the first to use those sound alerts. Oh, did we log in drunk again? Yeah. Yep, we're So apparently, one of the unfortunate side effects of the Yule Festival in this game is there is a lot of in-game drinking, and somehow or another the code is kind of goofy where after you die and log back in again, or if you log back in from a save game, your character is drunk. And it is annoying, to say the least, because it kind of doesn't go away. There was a lot of shots, yeah. Let's see. Should I even attempt... you know what? We'll give it one more shot. One more shot.
This poor man suffered a great deal before dying.
Come you hither to pay your respects to the great and brave King Lerion.
I do not know such a man.
He was betrayed and murdered by those who denied his friendship, just as you deny him now.
Also, I really do like that Viking horn. That sounded fantastic, all things considered.
And you must
and the timing was very appropriate.
You will not be taken by a demon god.
You will join my pile of bones.
How can there be so many of you?
Ouch, ouch, ouch. Yeah. Yeah, this is a very tough enemy. That is a very, very tough enemy. Yeah, so... I may have to continue the storyline and build up more power and everything else, because that is a very tough customer right there. It's either that or, yeah. So yep, we log in and we're drunk. So the solution to this is to meditate, because I guess Vikings meditate. You know, I'm gonna om and find my center there. So yeah, there's that. Alright. So, this is the continuation of the plot right there. So let's try to do that instead. Because there's a lot of straight up murder that is going to happen if we continue to try to confront one of the Daughters of Lerion. Man, I turn away for like 30 minutes and my phone lights up like a Christmas tree. And not with anything overly important either. Although, I do like Facebook memories, and they're a great way to remind yourself of things not to do. So apparently on December 29th of 2017, I attempted to try bacon candy canes. It also tells me that I should not attempt to try bacon candy canes again. I don't remember having these candy canes, or at least I remember the box of candy canes, but I don't remember the specific flavor of said candy canes. So, here I have my candy canes in a picture, in a little blurb that just says a public announcement. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Also, apparently back in 2015, I was given a box of communion wafers, and I was attempting to find what kind of dip goes best with communion wafers. Is it salsa? Perhaps some ranch? Maybe even a nice hearty queso dip. Don't mind me while I catch up. Ah, the great gnome. The great ceramic gnome of 2010. Yeah, that was a great gift. A giant ceramic gnome I got from like TJ Maxx Home Goods. It was awesome. And then I gave it as a gift. Sploosh. That pile of leaves is not nearly deep enough to prevent bones from breaking. But that's just my personal opinion. Alright. Oh, I love this countryside. I want this weather again. Like, I know in-game I could go further north and trudge through snow-capped mountains and whatnot, but I want the green. I want the flowers. I want leaves on the trees again. there is a drinking quest over here. Or a drinking contest over here. But before the drinking contest, which... I don't know where he is. Let's see what information this good fellow has. So, what kind of dip would go with communion wafers? Probably nothing like salsa, because it'd be a little bit too watery. You need something a little bit thicker. Maybe like a queso dip. Oh, French onion. Nice French onion dip.
A fellow adventurer need to know the lie of the land? Well worth a little silver, I assure you.
Yes.
Yes, all right.
Tell me about some
Now,
mysteries.
show me your map. There is a place here.
Okay. What do we have here? Alright. So... Okay, fine. That's... Oh, ho, ho, ho. Spinach artichoke dip. What restaurant was I at that had some incredible spinach artichoke dip? I think it was, is it Texas Roadhouse? Or maybe a local restaurant. But don't get me started on the Texas Roadhouse, because I absolutely love that place. What's this?
You think you can guzzle the grog?
What's going on down here? Some kind of fight club? Apparently there's some kind of fight club going on down here. Talk to me.
You look thirsty as a flaming fish.
I can imagine a flaming fish being very thirsty. Alright.
Let's see the shimmer of your silver, friend.
I will throw down some cash in your small
Such
underground
daring.
fight club.
We drink.
Yes, let us drink. Whoa. This is going to be an interesting one because it is 6 horns of mead.
Are you going to start?
It's all about the rhythm and the timing. Oh, that didn't work so well.
Got some on your boots?
Probably helps if I actually use the control stick and not just mash a button.
So slow.
Man, now I want some spinach artichoke dip. Spinach artichoke dip. Actually, I could definitely go with like some Ruffles and ranch.
You are sweating.
Oops. Maybe some French onion dip. Ooh, there we go.
There's drinking to be done. Who's with
We
me?
won. Nice. 200 silver. Well, I mean, plus my initial 100 silver bet, but that's... Oh, what's this? Parchment for the Elengi. The forest of Endred is ours, and has never fallen. We are defended by the sacred bows of the Weld. The Meon Valley is ours forever, protected by the waves of the Manhood Peninsula. When Ayla landed his sons, we were born. Long live the Elengi. Yeah, you know, I would even go with straight up, you know, Tostitos and salsa. Just absolutely roll with it. Tostitos and queso dip. Yeah. That would rock. Okay, so where are we going? What's your go-to dip? Say like you're setting up for a party and you want to put out some snack food. What kind of dip do you put out? Ooh. See, homemade dip is the best kind of dip. Jimmy Dean sausage, cream cheese, and Rotel tomatoes. Interesting. I am intrigued now. Because that sounds amazing. Alright, where is this? Okay, so that's there, so something tells me I have to start here. Yes! I get the Berserker cloak, is it? Where's my inventory? Yes, so it's the Berserker hood, or well, the cloak, and then the actual Berserker helmet. And I love this thing. This thing is the last armor I am going to wear. I don't believe I'm going to replace any of this Berserker stuff with anything else. Oh, what did I get? Galaglac bracers. Okay. Alright, so... Oops, damn it. After all this discussion of dip and whatnot, I am glad that I have pizza. Alright, let's... No, dude, don't jump. Why you gotta be like that? Where'd it go? It's all the way over there. Got it. Awesome. Yeah, I've not even found any of that stuff yet, or the hammer, and I'm just kind of, oh, get out of the hay bale. Just kind of enjoying it and taking my time, and playing through, kind of getting sidetracked and doing everything else. I mean, I would love to have chips and dip right now, but what do I got? I have some regular potato chips, and then I have some Ruffles, I think. And I've already eaten all of my... What? I had some dip. I had some kind of... It was French onion dip, but it had a very heavy ranch flavor. Yoms Viking?
I long to join this crew, one all skalds will herald.
Okay, that's some cool tattoo work, especially the one on the forehead. I'm going to recruit her,
Come,
just because I
show
recruit
me your
all
valor
Yoms
in battle
Vikings.
and earn your place at the great table.
Yeah, French onion dip is where it's at. Alright, who's in here? Is Basim in here? Who's this guy?
Eivor, you giant steaming bowl of elk piss. King Oswald sends his regards.
Brother, or is it the other way around?
Interesting.
It's... Good to see you, Eivor. Oh, stop mewing like a heartsick kitten. He's been moping since the wedding.
There will be time later to reminisce. Are you madmen ready to spill some blood?
After that bastard Red, some nice
All right.
Suthsexes.
Yeah,
will
I've
make
recruited
easy
a
meat for my
ton of
blade.
Yom's Vikings. And I just kind of pick through and look at the best one. Oh, there's Basim. Basim, who I do not trust Basim. Let's see. What did I want to do? Skill points. That's what I wanted to do. Bearded Axe, heavy damage. Miasma. Ranged. Bearded Axe. The Sikhs. Yeah. Yeah, they're the Yom's Vikings of all the other or the personal Yom's Viking.
You wouldn't be the first man to fall asleep on watch, but you would be the loudest.
I did not mean to fail you, Guthrum Jarl. It was only for a moment. I was so tired.
As are we all, boy. We marched hard to get here. Still, let's not disappoint me again. You hear?
My Jarl, I'm sorry.
You must be Eivor. I've heard much of you, young one. They say you're something.
Eivor
We'll
strutting
see.
in with a giant wolf's head. Let's see, how arrogant do I want to be? The stories are all true.
I am Eivor of the Raven clan. I have carved a furrow through this teeming land, and the skulls sing loud of my deeds.
Those who boast have something to prove. The great have no need for it.
Eivor hopes to rescue Sigurd from the madwoman Fulke, now ensconced in Porchester Fortress. If you wish to crown yourself King of Wessex, Porchester must fall. An alliance here serves us both.
You promised a great army, but you couldn't breach a Crone's garden with what you have assembled here.
This is not the sum of my forces. Where are the rest?
Your allies are on their way. We must be patient.
We cannot wait for them. We march as soon as we're able.
With these numbers, are you keen to see Valhalla today?
I will not sit on my heels while Sigurd rots in that she-dog's care.
We might muster for an attack in the woods east of Porchester. But there are scouts between there and here.
Scouts I can manage. Point me at them and I will blind Fulke's eyes.
One walks the road between Briggsworth and Chichester. Another on the riverbank north of Crowley. A third keeps watch on the hills south of Croendene. But I warn you, these are all we know of. There may be more.
A risk we must take. I will find the scouts. You move the men into position near Porchester.
That is a rash gamble, Ravenfeeder. If we are spotted, we will be vulnerable.
If you want victory,
For
come
as
now
good
or
as
not
this
at all.
game looks
Every
right now,
hour
right
we
here,
waste could be Sigurd's last.
the
You
PlayStation
had better
5
be all they promised.
is incredible. The PlayStation 5 completely blows this out of the water. The Siege of Porchester. Alright, so...
That snake, Fulke, hides behind walls of stone. But Eivor will drag her out.
Still got a soft spot for him, don't you?
Lufvina, once again we will battle side by side.
Greetings from the north, old friend.
And how is Shore?
Still griping about the mess we made of Jorvik's council. But grateful
yeah,
for the help.
this
To be
quality
honest,
is
I
good.
think he's upset he didn't see the problem sooner. His pride is slow to heal.
Thank you for heeding my call, friend. Sigurd will be grateful when he hears you have come.
For your brother, I would upturn every rock in England.
Still got a soft spot for
Yeah,
him,
this...
don't you, brother?
Him and Eivor?
Eivor, my second favorite Norse.
Must we always drift together on such violent tides?
That is the way of things. Yet the meeting of
Oh,
friends
these
is
guys.
a glimmer of light in these dark days.
Ever the optimist, though. It's good to see you both.
One of the greatest
no
things I like
pleasant words,
about
only my
the
blade. Let's see
PlayStation
which
5
proves more useful.
is also its load times.
Him and Eivor?
But
Lower your aim,
in this
friend.
game, the
You have
facial
better
expressions,
luck.
the way that they look at each other, the the life in the faces and the eyes is unbelievable. I mean, the movement, the everything. Exactly. I have the option to pet the dog, therefore, I will pet the dog. Can I pet the dog again? No, the option's not coming up for some reason. Let's see what else these guys have to say. I think you can pet
Basim,
cats in this as well.
to find you here. What news do you have?
Fulke remains at Porchester, just as we suspected. And as of 3 days ago, Sigurd was with her, alive.
That is the best news we could hope for. And how are you?
I am well, and keen to see my old friend again.
You'll be glad to see you, I'm sure.
You know, it's almost like they completely forgot about the issues between the two of them.
Guthrum Jarl, your second Soma, talked often of you and your conquests.
They are all one in my memory. A single great battle that stretches from my first breath to the end of this sentence.
That sounds glorious. A living Valhalla.
Perhaps it does. But what happens when all the dead wear the same face, and their pleas become a senseless blare? Where did Torsten die? On a field or in a marsh? We were close as brothers once, yet I don't recall where or when.
You wear the scars of battle, not only on your skin.
The needle of loss becomes blunt once you have been pierced enough. But enough of that.
Okay. I need a beverage. And I believe the refrigerator has some Pepsi. Oh, what's this here? No, it's above me. The Rigsuger Shimmering Creek. Alright, so it's another page. Cool. Oh, and there's stuff there. How do I get in? How about we try? Nope. You gotta... There we go. So we want to go... Oh, why you gotta be like this? There we go. Up here. And collect the treasure. Let's see if there's anything else worth keeping through here. It does not appear to be that way. Ow. That was the first time I missed a jump like that. Alright, so let's take a look at the map. Oh, that's fairly straightforward. And I'm going to obtain a beverage and I'll be right back. All right, I return with a beverage. A nice, delicious Pepsi. Or, as, you know, your mileage may vary on that one. It's carbonated, and I don't mind it, so... Also, one of these days, I am going to visit this giant petroglyph right there. Because I think there's something at the base of the tail. Or at least, I think I read something in this game that there's at the base, you know, at the base of the tail. Alright, find and kill the scouts. So, we need to kill 3 of them. So we shall head south. Alright, so that middle one is the closest one. Yeah, I want spring. What would that name be, Mr. William Sterling? Because it's got to be something creative. So where is this scout?
They said there would be a scout on this hill.
Coca-Cola is the name for Pepsi. Wow. I didn't... Jeez. That's a little harsh. Man. Tough crowd.
I smell blood on the air.
Oh, what are these guys? These guys are gonna have a bad day. That's too funny. That's a deer. That's an on-fire deer. That on-fire deer just died. Wow. Come on, put the flames out. So, let's see. You guys scouts? Let's
Flank the idiot. Press hard.
You know, there is a cherry vanilla Coke that the supermarkets used to have that I absolutely loved.
With me.
RC's not really a big thing around here. It's kind of Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper.
Me here. Finish you.
It hasn't been in the supermarket around here for a while, I think. Oh, that's got to be great. Right back at you, buddy. Vinland rune, armor rune. What the hell is a Vinland rune? Vinland rune. Yeah, that does actually sound really fantastic. Exotic resources, Yule token. Oh, that's that. Vinland rune. It's a greater rune. Increased assassination damage when close to full health. That could be potentially useful. Drop of lime essential oil. Huh. Gotcha. Whoa! Tag that dude right in the butt. Which wasn't my intention. Locate area.
Be my eyes, Sunan.
Where is... So I am there. Ah, are they... Oh. That's where the scout is. Let's head over that direction.
Death is close. Did someone find the scout before me?
So, what's for dinner?
Slain by wolves. Work has been done for me.
After close by. Alright, I had no idea about that. And I had no idea that there was anything that could potentially do that in Coca-Cola. Color me impressed, but realistically, how long does that take to happen? That one's closer. Go to this one. That, wow, chemistry, right? Alright, so in theory, original Cokes are still... Wow. Yeah, you know what? There's probably somebody on YouTube somewhere who's willing to do something like that. And of course rich people have, because rich people doing rich people things. I like all these sheep. Those sheep are awesome. The outcome for that was going to be slightly different. Stop and die. Whoa. Ooh, yeah. That was, So does anybody else remember the Batman cereal from probably Early 90s, so the Michael Keaton Batman, which was released in 89. They made a Batman cereal. That dude had a wooden leg? Oy.
What see you, old friend?
Alright, so where is... So he's over here. But there's a guy who runs...
Scout patrols the riverbank north of Crowley.
What do you mean? There's a guy who runs a Comic-Con in Connecticut, and I believe he actually ate one of the original unopened boxes of Batman cereal from the early 90s. I don't know if it was 89 or 90. Oh, that guy. Yeah, so this guy who runs the Comic-Con, he also shows up on some radio
Okay, Scout. Right where Basim said he would be.
radio program as well. Whoa, that took that guy down? Wow. I dig it. But yeah, the dude ate a box of cereal that, I mean,
Orders from Fulke. I should show
30
this to
years
Basim
old now at this
once
point in
I've dealt
time?
with the others.
Portchester. All right. Oh, those are guards. So these guards will... Nighty-night. Ah, that's so enjoyable, being able to take them all down like that. Right? I mean, it's like, what? Why? Why would you do such a thing? But then it's like, well, I guess if you don't have too much else going on right now. But yeah, 30-year-old cereal. And I mean, I understand they're loaded with all kinds of sugar and preservatives and stuff that make them last a long damn time. And there is, in fact, expiration dates on things like Twinkies and stuff, but seriously, let's pump the brakes on some of that stuff, because that's a little excessive.
If they see me, this will get messy.
Alright, so there's a lot of dudes around here. I've been here before, I thought. I could be wrong. But I sort of remember a little bit of this, I think. Yeah, I've been here because I've raided this place. And I murdered a lot of people here. And there's even still treasure over there. Where is this guy? Tell you what. Bird, go do your thing. Oh, he's over there. Okay. You know, I don't know if it's soft. I don't know if it's hard. I don't know what consistency something like that would be after 30 years of just sitting in a sealed bag. I mean, I suppose if air didn't get to it, which that's kind of the idea of a cereal bag. But, dude, I don't know. All right. Some guys over there. But we need to find a scout.
I need your eyes, my friend.
Scout who is where? It's probably in with those guys right there. Oof. That makes my stomach sink watching that. There's also another group of soldiers right there. Oh, okay. So that's the target. Let's see if I can take these guys out before those other guys come around. Okay. Oh, yep, they saw me. They saw me and they tried to light me on fire. Yeah, ain't nothing like a great sword. Oh, yep, that's not good. Sorry, horse. Sorry, every little bit of wildlife and the giant flame circle I'm creating. Alright, so let's solve this problem. Confirm kill. It's nice to know he was killing me in the seashell.
I've seen the scouts. Basim and Guthrum will be waiting in the woods east of Porchester.
Alright. Let's see. Where's next? Okay. No, wait, what are you doing? Don't run away. So I think this is the remains of a giant Roman aqueduct that carried water through this valley. And it's incredible because they were ruins even, you know, during the existence of the Vikings and stuff. Oh, what do we got? Tell you what.
So much for Bishop's Wart and a few prayers.
Gonna
Modern medicine really has advanced beyond my ken.
come on, sneak up just a little bit more. Oh, come on, why not the... Damn it.
Blindside, idiot! You! Christ is surely with us.
Ouch, that hurt. Who's shooting me from here? Oh. And apparently I've got some kind of poison effect, which I think is... Where's it from? Ah, that's what it is. Chance to poison your weapon on a parry. So if I successfully parry, I still do damage to some dude. Let's see. See if we can't throw another better... See, guys, I like having the stun on the hammer because it just sort of makes sense. Although I could throw the Toxin rune on there, which would work in conjunction with parrying. Ability damage. Stealth. Yeah. No, let's forget about that for now. So, when I parry, I forgot about that rune. So when I parry, it has a potential to poison my weapon, and then I can cause poison upon others. I also like how it has just generalities as to where you're supposed to be going. Like, find your dudes. They're sort of over here in this direction. Maybe. Actually, it's kind of nicer that way, to be perfectly honest with you. That's a shield. What is a shield doing here? Exactly. Exactly. Instead of just having a X marks the spot, it's your guys are going to be kind of here. So I need to head kind of south. And that is one thing that I absolutely love about this game is the exploration. I will walk across the continent if given the opportunity, which most of the time I don't like using my horse simply because...
Show me what lies ahead.
Oh, there they are. So where am I? Okay, I'm heading in the right direction then. I think. Wait, was I? Or did I get... I'm an idiot.
Stretch your wings, Sunan.
Yeah, I start heading away. Place the marker, so now we know effectively where to go. At least I thought it placed a marker.
What do you see?
Place marker. There we go. Alright, now the marker's out there. Yeah, so I would legitimately walk. Well, not me personally, but Eivor. Eivor would walk from the very north to the very south of the entire continent of England just to experience this world, this atmosphere. Because it's
scouts are dead, and you're safely in
it's
camp.
not just you know, the plot.
Time will tell.
Any eye that saw you has been dimmed by death.
You are not short on confidence. That much is clear.
I found something of interest on one of the scouts. Fulke has news of Croydon's fall. She's gathering men and supplies, perhaps to weather a siege.
If she is allowed to dig in at Porchester, it might be months before we can get Sigurd out.
Do you still say I'm reckless in my haste, Guthrum?
Saxons! Saxons from the west!
I say your
Here we
haste
go.
has put us squarely in the shit.
Time for a little bit of
Fulke was
fisticuffs.
forewarned. There must have been more scouts than we knew of.
What's done is done. Save your breath for the fight.
Off with his head. This big fella. Yeah, but the thing about it is, in this game, it's so amazing to just...
They're giving ground! Push them back!
It's just... yeah. I will never say enough things about the landscape in this game. I will never say enough things about the views and the vistas. And the places you can just completely explore.
Here, or behind the walls of Porchester. Either way they die!
And I mean, then, you know, there's stuff like that, but that's beside the point. Alright, yeah, so that's right. Parry, weapon becomes poison, away we go. Big deal. And the big dude can still throw me about.
The Saxon falter!
Crunch. Oh, good, you got him? Nice, 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 nice. I'm very excited for the last season of Vikings because I really, really want to see where that story goes and just how they wrap things up. I saw the preview, or the commercial for it, and it looks great. And it's exclusively on Amazon too, I believe. If I remember correctly.
Finisher.
Yeah, that should be very exciting. That should be very cool to watch the wrap up and see who lives, who dies. Ah, that's a good point too.
Hold back, you dogs! Back to Porchester! They flee like rabbits!
Then we chase them like hounds. That ugly bastard's head is mine! Not if I get there first, slow arse!
Leave him! The day is already won!
No, guys. No. Ah, dudes. Alright, I guess this is a,
Cut you down! Death has found you, Saxon!
You'll join your friends soon enough. Is it for that withered bag of skin you fight? For Sigurd the Sickly?
If Sigurd dies today, find your corpse and kiss it.
You bear your false deities like a plague to this land.
I really enjoyed the
You know
early
nothing
episodes
those who
of
truly decide our fates.
Vikings and just seeing how things progressed and the evolution
for my final journey.
of their conquests.
Let me see what lies beyond.
Ooh. You know what? No, I'm not going to grace this guy with the simple pleasure.
I will not. Go and tell Fulke what you saw today. Tell her Eivor is coming to tear her heart from her chest.
I will tell Fulke her opponent is a weakling who does not have the stomach to finish what they started.
Uh-oh. What happened over here?
You will regret
dead,
this,
Eivor.
Murphy.
No breath within him. Gods, I've never seen the raucous bastard so quiet.
You are wounded, Reda. Let me bear your brother to the camp.
That's unfortunate. But... yeah. As always,
He was always quicker than me.
can't make an omelet
Out of the womb by mere
without breaking in a
moments.
few eggs.
Now he has beat me to Valhalla. Even in
So-
death, he had to be first.
This crow feast is my doing.
The
No blame stains you, Eivor.
outfit
He cut his own path.
I managed to
No
get
wasted. For him, there's no more
the helmet today. So I would love French toast right now, to be perfectly honest. But I bought with opals from the vendor Reda, the Berserker hood, which is the cloak. And then today, when his daily inventory rolled over, I was able to get the Berserker Helm, which is, I think, the crowning glory of this particular look. And if I can purchase with opals any of the other pieces of gear, but see also, So we can go to the packs of stuff. And this stuff here, I forget what... okay, it's called Helix Credits, which makes sense because DNA, DNA Helix, blah, 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 blah. Fine. Droger, Huldefolk, Valkyrie, Berserker. So the packs themselves for all of the gear are 2,000. And if you have a certain amount of the items, that drops the price. But this is... The Helix stuff is the... Exactly. Yep, you are 100% correct. The bear skin. So because I have 2 out of the 9 items, it drops the price considerably. And these are the bits and pieces. So this would be the entire look and style. So increase speed when taking damage until you heal yourself up to 5 times. And then additional increase to attack and armor when I have the full set. But I really, really like... Even if I don't get... even if I don't get the rest of it, like the pants and the chest piece, the gauntlets, so the torso, the gauntlets, and the boots, even if I don't get that stuff, simply the 2 pieces of, well, primarily the 1 piece, the helmet. The helmet seals the deal. The cloak is the, icing on the cake. Let's see. So they had one of the Droger pieces the other day, and it was the chest piece, I believe. And I like it. I really do like this, but it feels kind of more like something that would be out of Skyrim. The demons out of Skyrim. You get their hearts as... Crap, what the hell's the name of that now? I'm drawing a blank, and that kind of bums me out because I played so much Skyrim. Well, the Daedra. Thank you, because I feel like an idiot for forgetting that, but that's, that's me. Because this kind of, it has a Daedra vibe, and their word Droger in the, let's see, shields, the hammer, the bird, and then the mount. I mean, it looks like a nightmare. So Eivor is effectively the adopted brother of Sigurd, who effectively is... the hammer is cool because it actually causes... so if you critical hit something, it poisons the weapon. Which, if you put the rune in there, because it's got a rune slot, you can do... It poison the weapon on parries, and critical hits will cause poison. So you're constantly doing poison damage, which works with the bonus of this set. Increased attack when hitting a poisoned enemy, which is just bonkers, so you can just melt stuff. But like I was saying, Eivor is effectively the brother of, or the adopted brother of Sigurd. And Sigurd left the king, or his king, the Jarl, back in Norway, and they traveled to Ravensthorpe, and they established their village of Ravensthorpe. So you're still sworn to Sigurd, but Sigurd is making some really dumb choices. And apparently through the context of the game and the story, you've never really had any reason to... this one's kind of a wild one, too. You've never really had any reason to question Sigurd or to butt heads, because you always just kind of know which, what each of you is doing, and you mutually support one another. The boots are cool. Those are cool boots. Although I'm not sure I would ride a... It kind of looks like a mechanical battle cat. Yeah, that would be very accurate. But yeah, there's some stuff in the storyline. Also, Suitor's sword. That's awesome. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want Suitor's sword? And then you've got the giant Muspel's wall. The skull of all the enemies slain by the giants have been forged into this shield to warn any reckless foe of his grim future. Create a small fire around you after blocking 5 times. That's nuts. Okay, that one's cool. The Phoenix. That is a very cool. Okay, that's even better. Yeah, you pretty much win with that one. You can't not win. The Niflheim pack. This stuff, I mean, yeah, Niflheim, the elves and stuff. Oh no, Niflheim. Yeah, that's the cold. That's right, derp. It's Alfheim. Alfheim I'm thinking of? 9 Realms. Good times. Let's see. There is, I saw it in here somewhere. They have the Blood Eagle ship pack. So this actually looks really awesome. Niflheim. Because in Norse mythology, you have the 9 realms, which you've got, you know, Asgard, where the gods dwell, Vanaheim, where the Vanir are from, Alfheim, Niflheim, Helheim, Muspelheim, Midgard, where people come from. Yeah, this isn't the Joel Schumacher Batman armor, so it doesn't have nipples on the armor. So we're at least a little lucky on that particular. Ooh, wait a minute. What? Dude. Yeah, Earth is Midgard. Yep. Well, yeah, technically the realm of Earth is Midgard. Okay, that is a cat, and there's sparkles, and wow, this is really messed up. Actually, in this game, the seer of your encampment brews up a special batch of some fever dream potion, and you actually go on effectively like a spirit quest, and you experience things as Odin, and you interact with some of the gods and some of the major deities of Norse mythology. And what I've always said is actually pretty amazing about this game. Well, yeah, I think that they kind of, this stuff here, the stuff that you can buy with credits and stuff, is actually just like goofy yeah, absolutely. The toughest guys would go on that ship. But like the Valkyrie ship, I mean, that's impressive. And the ethereal wings. But the neat thing about this game is the way that it handles the mythology. I mean, ooh, the Berserker. Okay, this is cool. Yeah, with the giant bear head and the bear skin on the sail. Hold the folk. The Droger. The Droger is cool. I mean, that is very impressive. Although they don't have anything exclusively very Loki oriented. I mean, Niflheim settlement, Hell's Damnation, Droger, Huldafolk, Valkyrie, Berserker, Enherjar, and then all the tattoo stuff too. Yeah, it's just a Droger one. So they don't really have a lot of So this one's kind of a... The Droger one is kind of dumb looking, to be perfectly honest. But there are so many tattoos in this. So many tattoos. That is awesome. Kind of, I think. It definitely, I think... I haven't seen the mask in so long, but it's entirely possible that it is an item that, you know, Loki would have just kind of thrown out there just to mess with people. But yeah, weapons, companions. So there's all this stuff that you can actually get. Oh, William Sterling. I am very bummed out about hearing that. That is super unfortunate. I'm hoping I can get it and just kind of put some money towards bills that have been piling up.
There's no more strife and pain. Only glorious battle and the forever feast.
Because I kind of wasn't expecting Christmas to be like it is. Alright, so I will put this guy down here. So the mask persona is low. That makes absolute and complete sense, because he is the personification of just trickery and tomfoolery.
Reckless stripling! I warned you the risk was too great!
Peace, Guthrum. It is Fulke who merits your wrath, not Eivor.
You have not seen the half of my wrath. How many of my men now lie dead on account of this glory hoarder?
Many have died, my friend here among them. The fault is mine. Knowing that is shame enough.
Small comfort
Exactly.
galleys to the dead.
What happened here?
Uba.
Oh, it's Uba.
Soma. You come at
One of the
a
sons of
black
Ragnar.
hour.
And too late to bloody our blades. Most
And
a pity.
Soma.
I hope to take Porchester with this one, but folk is forewarned now. I have no more appetite for this. I will go west.
Go then.
Oh, dude, I know,
No,
right?
you leave me in a time of need.
What you need is to swallow your pride, raven feeder. Listen to wiser heads than yours.
Eivor?
We should yield to cooler heads.
I will hear you, Guthrum Saxonbane, if you wish to speak your piece.
I need to watch that. It's one of the ones that are recommended on my list.
Bravery is your enemy as often as your friend. We do not dash ourselves against hopeless courses. We arrive unexpected, strike swift, gather your allies, pick your moment. Then, and only then, you crush them. You can
But you're right, I do like Uba.
Go with the wisdom of Odin, the power of Thor, the wit of Freya. Go and find your brother.
Well, they do figure pretty heavy into the mythology.
What he says.
Well, Ragnar into the mythology, his actual, his sons, I mean, you can go and see where Bjorn Ironside is buried. And there's a monument to him, I think.
I heard and heeded. I'm not too proud to admit my mistake.
Then there is wisdom in you as well.
We will wait for our allies before the final attack. Until then, we have work to do.
Even Uba in this is really good.
First,
well,
we need
yeah,
a new
no,
camp.
you're right.
The
You're right.
Saxons think we have
They all
retreated, but we will draw
follow
even closer.
the big ones that everybody knows.
Arrive unexpected.
Erke, Stowe, Lufina, right there ahead of me. Together, we will bring them down.
It brings me no pleasure to fight my own people, but a debt is a debt.
Besides, they're men of Wessex, Alfred's folk, no brothers of yours.
We will set off immediately. Together we will fall upon them as Thor's hammer.
After that, we should strike at Fulke's supplies all across Suthsexe.
Pretty much.
Yes. If she is allowed to dig in at Porchester, we will lose our chance to rescue Sigurd.
The letter I found on the scout mentioned Bridgeworth, Guildeford, and Crowley.
They produce weapons in Crowley, food in Guildeford. Bridgeworth is a
Well,
stronghold.
it's like
many Saxon swords there.
it's Christianity and the apostles. I mean,
Soma, you and your men
how many
will
kids
aid
are
me in
named after
crowding.
the apostles?
Count on us.
I will go to Bridgeworth and take a measure of things there.
Good. I will join you after I've dealt with the Saxon camp.
A lion's heart and a crow's cunning. Guthrum judged you too swiftly.
We have work to do. Let's be about it.
Yes, let us be about the work. Exactly. It's like, you know.
Soma and Uber, I apologize. I would have liked to offer a better welcome after your long journey.
I'm only sorry we could not be here sooner.
We'll need
More
a
skill
short
points.
while to organize the men. Then we'll set off as soon as we're able.
Okay.
Now here is a welcome face. Soma. How fares Grandabridge?
These are all the people that I've helped along the way in the other
And I have you to
areas
thank
of
for
the
that.
map.
The risk I took was far less than you're taking now. I thank you for heeding my call.
An oath is an oath, Eivor. Silver-gilded and ironclad.
Uber Ragnarsson, it puts me at ease to see you here. Welcome.
Eivor Wolfkiss tempts me with a swipe at Wessex. Who am I to resist?
Here we might finish the work your father began a decade back. Are you ready?
More than ready. I am hungry.
Alright. Basim, you have nothing to say. I still don't trust you.
What I would give to be there when he appears in Odin's Hall. Old One Eye will have his hands full tonight. But I cannot let my brother lie forgotten in unknown soil. I must take him home. Bury him with what finery I can muster.
I understand. May Freya watch your way, Broder. Until we meet again.
Aye. Until then.
Okay. So regroup with Lufina. And that is 900 meters this way. Oh, okay, so we're pushing further into Suthsexe. So, here's the thing. We've been at this just shy of 3 hours today. And we've accomplished a lot. Or at least I feel like we've accomplished a lot. At the very least, you know what I accomplished? I have a bear helmet, okay? If anything else happens, doesn't matter. It's gravy. It's all gravy. Because Eivor has a giant bear head on his head. That is what I am taking away from today. So, before we leap full long into the preparations and getting ready for battle to possibly take down Folke, I think this is a good place to sort of circle the wagons and kind of round things up a little, because I don't know how much longer or how long and involved any of these battles are going to become, because it's probably going to get kind of crazy. And then if I go and I die and things happen, and, you know, which it's not out of the realm of possibility that I get my ass handed to me. So, for now, we're going to wrap up. I will probably see a lot of you in some of the other streams tonight. Gigi Edgley is streaming at 8 o'clock. Waylon, AKC, Waylon of A Killer's Confession, he's also streaming at 8 o'clock as well. He's doing some video games, and I believe it's his Bioshock night. So that's pretty cool. He's a good dude. But for now, everybody, thank you for following along. Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's January. I think, isn't it early January when the episodes hit? So we're soon. I think no later than January 20th. The date is on there somewhere. But, yeah, all going to be on Prime, and that's going to be fantastic. Oh, it's the 30th. Even better. Ginger Age, thank you so much for coming along and hanging out and adding adding some brevity and some thoughts on Chip Dip to this evening, because it's awesome. It's always fun. This is Storm of Iron. This is my Assassin's Creed Valhalla playthrough. And if you haven't hit that follow button, think about hitting that follow button. You can get notified every time that I go live and I play this ridiculously awesome game. Or if you feel even a little bit, a little saucy, you can hit that sub button. There's always that. I would not say no to that. William Sterling, have a great night. I will catch you later, probably in one of the streams. Yeah, because it's live on History Channel too. I'm not sure. We'll have to see what happens. But I think it might all come out on. Yeah, it might come out on Prime. But yes, everyone, Skull. Indeed. And this will conclude our broadcast evening. That's a good question. We do have, we've got an opportunity to raid soon, so if y'all want me to do that, I can certainly raid. Yeah, I can, once Gigi's stream hits up, I can hit that raid button if you like. But your call. If you guys want me to do that, I can do that. And okay. Well, I was gonna raid Gigi's channel when she goes live, and actually it's kind of sooner than I thought, so it's like less than 10. No, it's just, all I was going to do was, maybe grab a snack or something like that, and then consider if I was going to jump in the Zoom later on in the evening or not. So, we can, we can definitely raid Gigi when the time comes. So when her channel goes live, we'll just jump right on over there. Because it'll be fun. Because she's awesome. She is the glue that binds us together. We're going to pull the stuff up here, and we'll know when she goes live. Also, that was an awesome interview with Background Rach yesterday. Or, wait, no. She said it differently, didn't she? She pronounces it differently than... I think it's Alfred. Alfred's the King of Wessex. I think. Also, I can do something like... Alright, what time period... Oops, damn it. What time period does Assassin's Creed Valhalla... Okay, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is set in 873 AD. Which, I don't really have too much of a problem looking up the time frame. The only thing I won't do with this game is look up any kind of cheats or hints or anything like that. Yes, it does. It very much does. So it's going to be an interesting. We saw Harold Finehair get cut down. We saw what looked to be a mortal blow to Bjorn Ironside. It's going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting. Exactly. Two very damaged kings. Although, man, Eivor the Boneless, it's interesting to see his portrayal in this game because he's a very, very strange character. Also, I should probably spend my two skill points here. But what do I want to spend my skill points on? Oh, you know what? Miasma. Enemies who die from one of your poison attacks will release a toxic cloud around them, infecting those who enter. I don't know if that affects me or... Now I have poison, so it's gonna... That's so cool. That is so cool. Also, we could probably upgrade the breeches, the legs, the boots. Okay. Looks like a couple more minutes till GG's stream gets going, and then I will raid on over there. Well, he's kind of like the ultimate bad boy because he's a complete and utter sociopath. Although, I think Eivor got a little bit of a lesson with just how crazy people can get in this past season. It was very weird. But Eivor in this game, yeah, you know, he did become slightly sympathetic in this past couple of episodes. But Eivor in this game, though, if you see his portrayal in this game, he's fantastic and absolutely unhinged. Also, I have email. Ring in the new year with a free TV on Samsung TV Plus. No, I won't. How about that? Yeah, the whole thing about the Russ, it felt very forced. Like, they introduced a big bad boogly monster to kind of sway your feelings about some of the characters that currently exist in the in the fiction now. So but it's a lot like if you ever watched Sons of Anarchy and if you watched Sons of Anarchy and watched how they made certain characters sympathetic throughout the particular stories and plot lines and everything else, and you've got all of this stuff that, like, at the end of the day, these are murderous, drug dealing. Well, no, they weren't really drug dealing. That's where they drew the line. They were murderous outlaw bikers, and they had no qualms about killing people and doing some pretty bad stuff. But they were the you know, they were almost the good guys in the series, or at least they're the ones you wanted to root for at the end of the day, just because of how, you know, how they really had all the storylines surround them. Yeah, that I definitely don't know enough about his particular history and everything. And it would certainly be something to go back and read up on, so... I mean, I know a lot more about the... like the deities and the you know, realms of existence and all that stuff, but like the actual historical elements of it, I know basics. But yeah, Sons of Anarchy. Yep. Yeah, that's true too. Because the show Vikings is not historical fact, but it is historical fiction. So yeah, you've got characters who actually existed in the human timeline. Irish mythology. Yeah, Irish mythology is pretty cool. There is a lot of neat stuff from Irish mythology. That's a thought. Yep, exactly. Let's see. Well, if you... Did you ever watch American Gods? Mad Sweeney. There you go. Yeah, Mad Sweeney was, oh, I know, right? It's absolutely just, yeah. And this is a game that came together over, like, a couple of years. I really enjoyed the first season of American Gods. It was incredible. The cinematography, the stories, the care that they took with, you know, all kinds of cultural stuff. Then you've got the second season, which isn't bad, but it kind of just furthers the plot of everything. And then they have a third season that is coming out, that I think is coming out. That's what's coming out in January. So I'm really excited about seeing that in January. I actually haven't sat down to read any Neil Gaiman books or comics or anything, and I feel terrible about that. I should get around to doing stuff like that, but I read more H.P. Lovecraft, Edgar Allan Poe, a lot of Clive Barker, a bunch of sci-fi, not like the mainstream sci-fi stuff, but there was a lot of stuff. And it appears that somebody's channel is going live. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's wrap it up here, and then we will continue over with G's channel. So we can definitely do that. We can raid. Boom. Here we go, party people. Absolutely. Anytime. If you see me go live, I'm always willing to chat. So, here we go, a rating.